On the Mount of Olives, outside the city of Jerusalem, Jesus, the promised Savior, was talking to 4 of his disciples, to Peter and Andrew, James and John. He told of the day when Jerusalem would be destroyed, and that soon he must leave them, but that he would come again.
Master, when will this be?
What will be the sign when this is about to take place?
Be careful that you are not led astray, for many will come in my name, saying, I am he. And when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be afraid. For this must first take place, but the end will not be at once.
What will be the sign of the end, Lord?
The end is not yet, for nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be great earthquakes and famines in many places. And before all this, they will lay their hands on you and will persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and prisons. And you will be brought before governors and kings for my name's sake.
In that hour, Master, what shall we say?
Do not be anxious beforehand what you shall say. When the time comes, you will be given wisdom which none of your enemies will be able to withstand or contradict.
What shall become of our families and friends in these days, Lord?
You will be betrayed even by parents and brothers, kinsmen and friends, and some of you they will put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But not a hair of your head shall perish. By your patience, you will gain your souls.
Jesus spoke to them for a long time, telling them of things that would come to pass, speaking in parables, seeking to prepare his disciples for the tragedy of his death and for carrying on his work after his departure. He warned them always to be on watch, for no man knew when the Son of Man would come again. A short time later, after Jesus had finished all his sayings and parables, he was again gathered together with his disciples.
You know that after 2 days the Passover is coming, and the Son of Man will be delivered up to be crucified.
Jesus knew that what had been foretold in the scriptures must soon come to pass. The number of Jesus' followers was increasing with each passing day. As they gathered about him, they were held by the truth and warmth of his words. Among them were some of the temple rulers who were afraid that this man might destroy their leadership of the people. Totally unaware of Jesus' prediction of his own death, the priests and Pharisees who had gathered with the high priest Caiaphas were greatly alarmed by the reports of the activities of Jesus.
You have heard how this rabble-rouser continues to speak against us, calling us wicked and adulterous.
I say it is time he put a stop to the doings of this false prophet. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe him.
And the Romans will come and destroy both our holy place and our nation.
You know nothing at all. You do not understand that it is better for you that one man should die for the people, rather than the whole nation perish.
But how can we take him? He's always surrounded by the people, and we cannot risk their anger.
We must find a time when he is away from the people.
Even so, how can we possibly know of this in time to act when he is not in Jerusalem?
The Passover is not far off, and he surely will come here for the feast. What do you think, Caiaphas?
If he does come, then we must make every effort to find out where and how he might be taken alone.
So from that day on, they took counsel how they might put Jesus to death. But they knew they must take him secretly when he was not with the multitude of his followers. Sometime later, in Bethany, Jesus and his disciples were having supper with a number of other guests in the house of a man known as Simon the leper. It was not far from where, a short time before, Jesus had raised Lazarus from the dead. Lazarus himself was among the guests, who were being served by Martha, Lazarus' sister, who had been so joyful at her brother's resurrection. Then Mary, Lazarus' other sister, also came in. She too had been devoted to Jesus for some time, and she welcomed this opportunity to show her love for the Savior. In those days, it was the custom to anoint the head or feet of a distinguished guest with precious oils and ointments. This was a gesture of respect and love, and Mary felt that she could do no less for her Savior. Among those present was Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples, who was very much displeased by Mary's action.
Why such a waste? This ointment might have been sold for a large sum, and the money given to the poor.
Let her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a fine thing for me. The poor you have always with you, and whenever you will, you can do good to them. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for burying. And truly I say to you, wherever the gospel is preached in the whole world, what she has done will be told in memory of her.
Actually, Judas was not at all concerned with the poor. Being a greedy man, he would have liked to see the ointment sold and the money from it put into the disciples' fund for the poor. Since he was in charge of the fund, he could have done with it as he wished. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, the high priest had called another meeting of the rulers of the temple for the purpose of plotting Jesus' death. And at the very same time that the rulers of the temple were plotting, Judas Iscariot was making his way from Bethany toward Jerusalem. By then, Judas' mind was filled with evil thoughts. Hungry for money, Judas was now thinking of a plan to gain his own ends. And so, having decided upon a plan, Judas was more determined than ever to see the priests of the temple. There, the discussion over Jesus was still going on. So far, all their attempts to trick Jesus had failed, but they were still trying to find some way to trap him. But just then, a guard came in to tell the high priest, Caiaphas, that there was a man outside who wanted to see him about a matter of great importance. After presenting himself to Caiaphas, Judas began to explain the reason for his visit. But some of the rulers of the temple wondered why this man should have been invited into the council chamber, and they were curious to know the reason for this interruption.
This man is Judas Iscariot, follower of Jesus of Nazareth. He tells me that he will see to it that Jesus falls into our hands.
What will you give me if I deliver him to you?
What do you think is a good price to offer this man?
We should offer him enough.
30 pieces of silver is the price of a slave.
That is a goodly sum.
Let us pay him now and bind the bargain.
We will pay you 30 pieces of silver. Prepare 30 pieces of silver. This man, Jesus, has stirred up the people from Galilee to Jerusalem with his false teachings. You will do a great service by helping us to rid the nation of this false prophet. You must watch for an opportunity. Be careful. He has many followers, and it would be dangerous if they turned against us. He must be taken in the absence of the people.
Now the priests would not have to search for a way to take Jesus prisoner. The way had been brought to them. It was with great satisfaction that they watched Judas leave. Now he was a puppet in their hands, and they had but to await the right moment. So the bargain was made. For 30 pieces of silver, one of his own disciples was ready to betray the Son of God into the hands of his enemies.